Okay, so now I have confirmed my email address and I can actually write pages. I'm a little bit further on in that I have actually done my site, but on WordPress you should see my site and you'll see all these stats about your site. What you need to do to start building your web page is to start with adding the pages. Now there's two sides to WordPress. There's website pages and then blog posts. Your blog posts can be used for keeping diary entries. So during your final major project, you might typically you would do a reflective log. So that would need to be logged every week in terms of reflecting the learning that you've done or the planning or the progression of your project. Now, with your website, you would probably want to have your site pages as your home page. So most of these preferences are in the customize section, and if you click on customize, it will go to customizer. Now this is my website slightly changed since you saw it last, so I've done a couple of things to it and I'll talk you through them in a minute. But firstly, your home pages can be set to either your latest posts, which means that when you dial up your website address it will display your blog posts, or you have a static page like mine. Now the static page view is better if you just want a front page that can then take you to all your different areas where you can display all of your work. So I'm going to set it as my home page is a static page, and then my posts page takes me to a blog. Now obviously I can add a link to my blog within my final major project session when I am making my final major project, which we will be doing in your final term. So here's what you would need to do next then. You've set your home page, and as I say, going back to customize, there is this cross to take you out of the customizer menu, so just bear in mind that when you're in customize and you do something, you should be going back rather than hitting that cross page. So site identity, here's where you can actually upload a logo. So if you wanted to create a logo like this, or if you've already got a logo that you maybe used for your t-shirt design or trainers design, you need to save that as a PNG file with the transparency included. You can do this from Photoshop or Illustrator. This one I made on Illustrator using the pen tool and the text tool. And then changing obviously the stroke and the outline and customizing the pattern. I can then have a tagline that will come up there. I've got the Miles Davis of the Mumble, which is what I was donned in my time when I was doing some MCing as a musical artist. You could also put a site title in there. I've left this off, but you could put like media portfolio, for example, and that will come up. But again, if you don't like the look of that, I would recommend that you go into Photoshop or Illustrator and use the various text tools and fonts to create a custom image for your site. That's why I've left my site title blank, because I just wanted to have a simple logo, a little bit of blurb. This comes from my blog site. This is what we had during the release of my last album, which was released on the 11th of the 12th, 2013. So that is there. And then you've got this blog link. So obviously I can go to my blog link anyway from my front page, and that's pretty much my front page. In terms of adding menus, you will need to add menus. If you go to your primary menu, you can decide to put it where you want to put it. There's the menu locations here. There's menu options, and you can add items in here. So obviously you would want these 4 pages. In order to create these 4 pages, you just click on add items, you add a new page, and then once you've got the front end of your website built, using obviously the back end, which is this bit with all the buttons and stuff, and you know, there are various customized things that you can do here as well from your menu. You've got your posts, projects, that's for your blog posts. Predominantly though, we're looking at building web pages. So I've added all these web pages, so I then have a menu with digital, audio, video, and my final major project. So if I go back, a few other customizations that I've done, colors and backgrounds. So I've added a red color scheme. Content options tells you what content you have in there. Okay, and obviously, like I say, the menus is predominantly what you need to add to start to add new web pages, so that your front web page takes you to these other web pages. Okay, you also may wish to customize these different areas. So if you click on these pencil things, it will take you to the bit within the website. If I go to this button here, it takes me straight to my header image. So obviously I've added images to that to customize it. Okay, I've got my home page settings here as I went over before. Most things can be customized. There are a number of themes that you can use to customize. If you click on themes here and you go into free, you then have all these different themes you can choose from. So obviously I've picked a theme, I've customized that theme, I've changed this. The theme that I've got is this one with this woman with the laptop. Okay, so I started with that theme, the one that's up here, and I've customized it so that it looks very, very different to what the theme looked like before. When you're happy with the customization, you then can edit your different pages. Okay, so if I go into, for example, my final major project page, you can see here I've added a hyperlink. All this is a link to my Office 365 OneDrive, which will take me to a video file that is actually in my OneDrive. So as you can see, when I click that link, it plays the video. Now, that is a hyperlink using text. You type something, you then select the text, and then you click the link, and you can enter the URL, which is the address, the thing that comes up in the address bar, or this thing here. You add that into this box, and you click save. It will then open there. You can also add links to other parts of the website. So you can do links to, any of the different bits. If you wanted to link to your blog, for example, you could do a link to your blog to show your reflective log. You could also then do another one here. So you say reflective log, for example. Select that, add a link, and then click that onto your blog. So then if I now preview that, I can see what it looks like. So you can see I've got my final major project, I've got my reflective log. When I go into the reflective log, then I've got my home, and then I can edit that page or add more to my blog. So that's how you add a hyperlink. Okay, so I'm just going to close that because I don't want to save those changes. But also, you can do hyperlinks using photos. So if I go into the audio website page, okay, let's just restore that because I've got a more recent version. I've inserted an image here, and I did that by going add media, and then I've got a photo library I can pick from, including all my photos here. You can upload your photos if you want to add a new one, add something from your content already, so any of that stuff that you've done. You then select the image, and then you click on the insert hyperlink, and this hyperlink will take me to a blog, which is where all of my music is stored, and all of the information about my audio files is. Okay, so that's how you would add a hyperlink. So the idea is that you can link to all of your audio, digital, video work. If you've got digital work, it might be that you've got images. So I've put on here a collection of images, and I did that just by adding content. So with your digital work, if you add more than one image, then it can actually tile it, it can display it a bit like what I've done here. So this was the image that I've currently got up there, is an image that I created digitally for my album release. So that's like my album front cover, back cover, and I've tiled it like this to display. There's also another hyperlink there that links directly to this content online. Okay, so, and again, I'm not going to update that because I just took out the hyperlink, but yes, so you need to now start to work on what is in the page, so the content of the page, and you can add text here as well if you wanted to write about the stuff that's in it, or you could just insert links that take you directly to the work. It's up to you really how you do that. I mean, if it is just linking you to something and there's no explanation, it might be good to say, for example, in visual, you might say, here is a link to my first ever project, or here's a link to my Creative Genius project, whatever it might be. So within site pages, that's how you put content into the individual pages, and how you add the buttons and everything else is in the customizer tool, where you get access to the front end of your website. If you're not happy with the home page that's displayed, then change what you display when you see your site. And if you want to see your site, you click on My Site, and you can find the site URL by going to the actual site here. So this is the URL up here, and if I copy that and paste that into a browser, then it should just take me straight to the website. And this is what my website looks like when it's live. If I click on digital, it will link me through to digital. There's my digital images. Okay, and if you go to audio, there's the audio. This links directly to my audio work. So that's a blog with all my audio stuff on it. And then if you go into video, again, I've got all my videos. This links directly to my YouTube channel. So if you guys have got a YouTube channel or any other third-party websites, you could add that. Okay, and finally, in my FMP, I've got a link to a file on my OneDrive. Okay, so there you go. And then as soon as you click on it, it all links. Good. So happy website building, and